Hey guys, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the brand new Netflix special, Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling. This is a 45-minute long special. This is the reboot special. Rocko's Modern Life was a cartoon on Nickelodeon before Nicktoons was even a thing, from 93 to 96. This is an authentic 1990s Rocko's Modern Life shirt. This hat is from 2009 from Hot Topic. I am quite the Rocko's Modern Life fan, obviously, hence me wearing merchandise. We have a bunch of Rocko's Modern Life stuff throughout the house. I have the complete DVD series. There's cards and toys and, the whole nine. So they announced this reboot, this special for Netflix, the same day that they announced that Invader Zim was also getting a reboot, a special. Now, Invader Zim was technically a 2000s cartoon, but the 90s kids still claim it as their own, much like how the 90s kids still claim Rocket Power as their own, because Rocket Power technically debuted August of 1999, but we still claim it. So, this was announced many years ago, and honestly, everyone was wondering when the hell it was actually going to come out. So then finally it was released August 9th, 2019. It was a Friday. Very special day in general for me, but no one really knew what to expect, And then the trailer came out, and then it was like, oh, Rocko's been in space right after the series finale when they were in space. And it's a matter of him, Spunky, Filbert, and Heifer just hanging out in his house as there was a rocket straddled through his house. So they've been in space for 20 years. They watched the same orange VHS tape of the Fatheads. Shout out to the, Nicktoon cartoon VHS releases. And it's just fun for the 90s kids to see these kinds of nostalgia purposes. And that's what this show was about. It was about nostalgia, but it was about embracing change. So Rocko and crew come back to O-Town, back on Earth, after they discover that Heifer was sitting on a remote for the rocket, which said re-entry, this entire time for 20 years. So Filbert and Heifer go at it, and then eventually they get back to Earth, and everything's changed. There's O-Town's version of Starbucks. Conglamo is still a thing. Ed Bighead is still, a big honcho of Conglamo, but he screws up, so he winds up losing his job. And then Rocko's like, oh my god, I need to see the Fatheads again, which is Mr. and Mrs. Bighead's son, Ralph's cartoon, which is the internationally successful cartoon, The Fatheads. But Rocko needs to see the Fatheads again because it's not on TV anymore. There's no more reruns. Fatheads is gone. Ralph is gone. Where is Ralph? Where are the Fatheads? So then Rocko and co. are trying to get Mr. Bighead's job back by convincing the head of Conglamo to create a Fathead special. So the only way to do that is to get Ralph Bighead to agree to it and actually create the special. So then they go on a quest and they eventually find Ralph Bighead, but it turns out Ralph Bighead now refers to herself as Rachel Bighead. And she is very happy. She went on a soul-searching journey, and she had to find herself, and she had to be happy. And the three main characters were so happy and embraced the change of Rachel. This show is rated TVY7. Nickelodeon, TVY7. Well, Nickelodeon Netflix, TVY7. So then Rachel and co. go, back to Conglamo. There's a moment between Ed and Rachel, and Ed's like, no, it's too much change. I don't have a daughter, I have a son. And what you would expect something to happen. But then as the learning of change is embraced, and at the end of the show, at the end of the special, when Mr. and Mrs. Bighead are, hugging their daughter at the premiere of the Fathead special, and Rocko's kind of freaking out a bit because the Fatheads special is changed too much, and he's like, no, there's too much change. This isn't the Fatheads we know and love. We need to, have the old Fatheads back. And then Mr. Bighead, as he's hugging his daughter Rachel, says this little bit, which I actually wrote down. He said, Rocko, we can't live in the past. We can be grateful for it, but life isn't permanent, and if we don't embrace what's now, we miss out on a lot of important stuff. End quote. Ed Bighead. Wow. I'm almost in tears right now because this film, this special, is really true to its roots and embracing the modern life. Rocko's Modern Life was from 93 to 96, right? Very tricky time to have a cartoon with adult themes on Granted, Ren and Stimpy had adult themes, Rugrats had adult themes, Rocko's Modern Life had adult themes, right? It was that early 90s bit where they could get away with innuendo, and then obviously rules changed and they couldn't do that anymore. So there's an episode in the original 90s Rocko's show where Ed Bighead wants to be a clown, and he tries to be a clown, and everybody keeps like beating him up and kicking him around. And he goes to this town, and like he just can't fit in, and he's like really upset about himself because all he wants to do is just be himself and be a clown. And then eventually he finds a clown, place, and they accept him for being a clown. But Joe Murray, who's the creator of the show, when he was doing the interview circuit for this special, was saying that he specifically had Ed wanting to be a clown in reference, not in reference, but paralleling LGBTQ within the 90s, because you couldn't literally have it in a kid's TV show at that time. Nowadays, it doesn't matter. You have Steven Universe, you have Legend of Korra, you have Adventure Time, you have Voltron, Legendary Defenders of the Universe. So things are much different now because the world has changed. It's been 20 years since Rocko's Modern Life. And Joe was saying that he wanted to represent the gay community, and having everybody know that it's okay to be you. You're allowed to be you. You're supposed to be you. You're supposed to be happy being you. And then now his thought was, all right, well, if Rocko and friends are coming back into the 21st century, what's the big change? What's the big things aside from social media and pop culture and, dating apps and new phones and hoverboards and VR and Starbucks galore and things to that extent? What would actual change be? And change would be changing oneself. So having Ralph changing to Rachel was the logical thing to do, and it's an actual progression of the Rocko canon. It makes perfect sense. And people that would complain about this are people who don't understand the canon of Rocko. Like, Rocko is all about modern times. Rocko's modern life. He is a modern wallaby. And this is modern. People are changing. Things are changing. Rocko, we can't live in the past. We can be grateful for it, but life isn't permanent. And if we don't embrace what's now, we miss out on a lot of important stuff. So let's embrace now so we don't miss out on a lot of important stuff. Amazing, amazing special. I want more specials. I want to see more of Rachel. I am so proud of the original creators, the directors, the producers, the animation department, the voice actors. Everyone is the same. Genius. So, bravo. Thank you, Nickelodeon. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, cast. Thank you, Netflix. I need more. Mucho mahalo, guys.